Hello once again, YouTube, and welcome to a really big one, as you can see by the number of chips on the table, among other things, the OSS 211L, kind of the grand finale series of the online Super Series. The series itself ends today, I think. Maybe there's a couple other, like, extra ones that end tomorrow. I don't know. But this is the one that basically everything has been leading up to. This is the low buy-in, and the reason why there's so many chips on the table is we have 9,267 runners in total. You see that 1,130 people got paid. The prize pool was $150,000. We got well past that. But the starting stack for this tournament was 200,000. You might remember that the Venom start you out with 300,000, but there's much more players in this one. Now the starting stack is the same for each buy-in level, so even though there's more at stake in the medium and high ones, you'll see fewer chips on the table because, you know, same starting stack. But yeah, even this low buy-in one of $22, look at what they're all playing for, and here's what they've already won. These lovely players down here. Which, now that the robots have actually allowed me into the game, I can actually, I could have actually tried to play this one, but I elected not to. I decided that, oh, there's where Baby Pluto finished. I decided, 12, 11, 10, 9, there we go, perfect. I decided that, this whole OSS kind of sprung up without even me knowing about it, and not because it was a sudden, you know, invention or anything, but just because I'm still relatively new to the site. And I had no plans on entering it in the first place because the robots kept rejecting me anyway, so I'll play it next time it comes around. If I even have time when I'm in grad school. Anyway, yep. I think that's enough of an intro. And we have an unlikely double participant in this final table with two Lithuanians showing up here. And look at that. 6,300,000 chips are in the middle before any cards are dealt. Actually, that's just the antes. It's actually 15.3 million. If you want to include the lines. And how'd you like to be Wookielim from Basil? How'd you like to come to a final table with 20 million points and barely have a prayer of winning the tournament? Or even just not finishing last. Well, High Thanks Spy doesn't have much more. But if you have 8 digits in your stack, you are hopelessly far behind. I think Spy with a strange raise there. I got it, was more than happy to see a free flop, even though he could have just raised all in and pumped High Thanks Spy out of there pre-flop, but he'll wait until now to push the all-in button, now that he's got a piece of the flop. And High Thanks Spy with Jack High is just fake tanking. Wonder why he even tried. He, or I guess she, because it's a... I'll just go with what I usually go with, and if it's a female avatar, I'll just say she, because I don't know anything. Wookielim has to do it with Suitor Days for sure. Yeah, she has to be wondering why she even bothered with a 6 million bet. I mean, I guess worth a try. Now, Queen 7 suited is absolutely enough to call with the extreme small amount of chips here. And gut shot and an ace, and we end up with a straight on the board, but the queen is going to play for Loves to Donate. So Wookielim had to go for it there, had to just hope that the hand held up. It did not, but, you know, oh well. Good job making it to the final table. But obviously you couldn't do anything when you're there with only 3+ big blinds. Vinny SPFC with Ace Jack suited, very nice starting hand. Now we have Golden asking for a chop, but we see on the left side of the screen here that it does not say that there was a deal, which means that there was no deal, which means I'm allowed to cover this tournament. I would not be covering it if there was a deal. So Golden, get hacked. Nobody else has much of a hand, so he'll just take that down. I was actually kind of expecting there to be a chop in this one. just because it's, you know, buying in for $22 and look what they're playing for. The guy who just busted out takes 1721. The next guy takes over 3100, and it just escalates from there. Pocket nines, and loves to donate quickly dumps the pocket threes. I like that fold. Obviously, you can see that he was crushed, but you know, some people just look at a pocket pair and think they have to play them, but if it's threes, then it's threes, you know? How good is it? Now, high thanks buy. This is a different story. When you're down to just 40 million and the big blind is 6 million, you kind of have to go for a pair and just hope that you get called by overcards. Or he can fold. She can fold. King Jack makes the raise. I got it. Vinny certainly with enough to see a flop. Now, high thanks buy. Actually, Erman Trout's not doing great either, but if we take a look at the big blind count, we have plenty of play in this final table. And top pair for Vinny on the flop, but there's a new top pair in town, and I got it, happens to have it. I guess his name is not false advertising. Vinny might regret not betting the flop, but, you know, it is what it is. Every move seems like the right move, you know, at the time. But you can't predict the run out. I don't think he's going anywhere with a pair of tens. Yeah, he's going to call. 6 on the turn may concern both players. If the other guy had a 6, the way this hand's been played, they both might think the other one might have a 6. Like, I got it, might have it just been thin value betting a 6 after it went check. And Vinny might have just called with a 6 from I got it's perspective. And it does go check. I got it not really willing to blast off with such a short stack over there. And she's not willing to blast off with 2s or Jack 8 suited. And the blind just went up again. So this is going to be fun. I got it with a raise of King Queen, of course, and this should just get around. Loves to doing it with a nice Queen 10 suited. And that's a sizable raise. 2.5x anyway. But, you know, that's fine. There's a lot of play at this table. And the numbers are just preposterously large. I hope you enjoy looking at all the really exotic chips that America's Cardroom's graphic team has designed. I don't know why the 5 million and the 10 million look so similar. But that doesn't really matter, does it? Because this is robot poker. It's not like you have to worry about stacking up all the chips perfectly accurately into your stack. And High Think Spy, getting very desperate, goes for it with the King 7, and must feel unbelievably fortunate that that got through, and now she can wait another couple of hands before she absolutely has to ram and jam. But she only has about 40 antes left. That's not good. Now King 5 suited's borderline for her. But she will go for it. I got it with a borderline call and decides to fold it. Loves to donate, even has a borderline call. And he will call. The suited connectors just have some potential to connect with the board, but they do not. And High Thanks Buy suddenly doubles up, and I wouldn't say is back in contention, but at the very least, as I said, has plenty of time now to wait before doing that again. And Erman Trout cannot wait out High Thanks Buy, and now Erman Trout has to think about doing something. Under the gun with 6s, though, understandable fold. You have to get around 6 other people if you want to go all in and hope everybody folds. So, I can't say I blame him for folding the 6s there. Yeah, short stack now with 13.85 big blinds. I can't be the only one who was kind of surprised to see Erman Trout be from Portugal and not Austria or Germany. But hey, there's a lot of English names from Lithuania and Brazil, so why not? It's fun to use other countries' languages when coming up with your usernames. I've never done it, but I imagine it's fun. Which name is Vegeta Fam 3. Pocket Fours get the job done. Gambit Queen did not want any part of that triple diamond board. The YouTube name being the number 12. I don't think 12 exists in any language. Maybe Bulgarian, though, because Bulgaria has a major city called Pleven. If there can be a Pleven, there can be a Quelv. The raise gets through for high thanks by, and she's no longer the short stack Erman Trout is. Ace Jack of Hearts for Gambit Queen. And yeah, I decided to not have my headphones on for some reason. I'm not participating in this, so I don't really need to hear the sounds to be immersed in it. Loves to donate? Get hacked. Because we know that there's no deal. Now, I will be covering the Dream later today, and the big caveat to that is there was a stoppage of play at the end of day 2 because it was just an extremely long. Ooh! Oh, Gambit Queen's in a lot of trouble here. Hold on. Hold that thought here. Gambit Queen flop top pair, top kicker, and Vinny now has a straight. Although it might not be too disastrous because any 10 now completes a higher straight, so Vinny's not even all that happy about the straight either. Gambit Queen's definitely not going to bet this. Okay, I don't know anything. I don't know why she's betting this. That's a horrible run out for her. But I guess she's just trying to represent a 10. It's... Okay, I guess. She might be turning her hand into a bluff here, and Vinny just has a little bit too much to fold. Boy, the run out just got even worse. No way Vinny bets here. He's going to bet, isn't he? I'm a terrible commentator. She is going to call. She has, again, just a little bit too much to fold when it's just a min bet. So I think that was well played by Vinny. I think. It went a little weird, but, you know, hands are allowed to play out a little weird. Nobody went too wild there, so, you know, Vinny won a nice pot. That's all there is to it. All right, so back to the Dream. Because there was over 4,300 players left on day 2, they decided that they didn't want to play out the final table. They just wanted to play to the final table for day 2, and day 3 is just the final table. That starts today at 2:05 p.m. I'm going to actually go out with my mother and have some Mexican food, but I should be back before the final table gets too deep into the... before we're just too deep into the final table. And even then, remember, it's going to be 30 minutes before it actually gets shown with the cards up. So I will probably be covering that one more or less live on a 30-minute delay. So if there happens to be a deal done in there, then I guess I kind of can't help it. I'm going to be very, very sad if that happens, because I will have wasted my time. Anyway, Gambit Queen versus High Thanks By, 2 short stacks with 2 good hands. King Queen versus Ace Jack. Will High Thanks By re-raise, or will she want to see a flop? The book would say to go all in here, but I understand wanting to, you know, respect your fellow short stack. You know that she's not going to raise without a little something something. And that flop is a little nothing nothing. I mean, my goodness. Who could that flop have hit? They both check. They both correctly think there's no way I can represent that. Of course, you could represent, you know, pocket 8s or 9s if you're Gambit Queen. Now, the 10 of clubs rolls off, giving both players a flush draw. Gambit Queen's is better. I don't know if they want to bet, though, because they still have just a teensy tiny bit of showdown value. Gambit Queen is going to bet. Understandable. High Thanks By, I don't think it's going anywhere with the possibility of a Jack High flush. Is it, like, foolproof, bulletproof? No, but it's something. plus the ace high to back it up. Might be thinking, you know, if I hit my jack or ace, that might be good. Little does she know she's actually good right now. She is thinking about it, obviously. You don't want to rush any decisions when you're short stacked at a final table this big. Gambit Queen, I assume, hoping for a fold here. She would be correct to be hoping for a fold. And she gets it. I think by saying discretion's the better part of valor. Well, probably saying it in Portuguese, but you know what I mean. I do not know Portuguese. I know a little bit of Spanish. And even less Japanese. I do know that Italian is virtually intelligible with Spanish because I watched. I'm a total idiot, so sometimes I watch Dingo Pictures movies, and some Dingo Pictures movies are only recorded in Italian, and I can hear the Italian version of the movie and still make out maybe about a third of what they're saying, maybe even more, because it sounds almost identical to Spanish. Okay, I'll admit it. I don't actually watch Dingo itself, but I do watch a lot of Phelan Porteous, aka Phelis, and he is the world's greatest Dingo Pictures connoisseur. Anyway, this flop sucks. High thanks bye. Folded after much deliberation pre-flop. Vinny is able to just take it down with a bet. Yeah, there's 4 halves and 3 have-nots, basically. 40 big blinds for the lowest halve, and the highest have-not has 21. You know, I feel like that's inappropriate. Uh-oh, wait. Unfortunately for Loves to Donate, not gonna have much chance of, oh, just gonna get walked. Show the aces, yes. Good fold, I got it. Good fold. That's disheartening. Vinny with ace-9. Nobody with a dominating chip lead by any means. High thanks bio Jack-8 student again. It's been raised. That should be a fold. Yeah. Gambit Queen. If she had more chips, might want to go for it with 6-4. See a flop. As it stands, I like the fold. Ace-Jack suited. Vinny's been raising an awful lot, but he's been getting hands. Be interesting to see how much the table believes him when he keeps raising with all these good cards. Because at some point, you have to be thinking, you can't have it every single time. Erman Trout with Queen 2 offsuit, that's just not enough, so another pot gets through for Vinny, who is now up to 500 million. I got it. Jack 10. Erman with a bit of a decision with Queen 10 of clubs. Again, can't see a flop, and it's been raised, so he's got to think that he's getting called no matter what. And you don't really want to call when you have Queen 10 of clubs. It just so happens that he's up against Jack 10. Wait, is that a female statue? What do I say for a female statue? I mean, I don't want to call Erman Trout an it. Whatever. I'm just gonna make more antagonists if I go on about this, knowing the internet these days. All right, raise from I got it 55. Vinny with 7-8 could see a flop. Doesn't want to do it out of position. Golden can see a flop for sure here, but Golden's been very quiet so far. Just waiting and waiting for somebody else to press the deal button. Loves to Donate did, but then decided to renege on it almost immediately. Golden just doesn't want to play right now. Golden came all the way to this final table just to shake hands and say, we don't want to play anymore. Now, there was no stoppage of play now, so these guys are probably a little bit more tired than the people at the Dream are. And I can tell you, the action at the Dream moved insanely fast. Like, nobody was just waiting around for other people to bust. Like they they got the job done at the Dream. Of course, it helps that the blinds are only 8 minutes for most of the day, and the blinds of this one I think are 15. I think they're 15. No, wait, we've seen 3 blind levels already, so it must be 12. 15 or 12. But either way, that's significantly more play than 8 minutes. Golden, Vinny, both don't like that flop. There is the 2 of clubs out there for both of them. Vinny with a bigger stack. Golden has been playing very, very tight, so Vinny certainly thinks he can just buy it here. Probably can. Oh. Golden putting on the big boy pants, apparently. Calling with just ace high. It is good. Vinny still with 10 high. And no draw now. Some exciting weather today. And it checks. And Golden hits a pair of 9s with the 9 of hearts. Could be a check call spot for him. I can't imagine he feels good enough about that 9 to bet it. Now, does Vinny want to give up, or he is going to go ahead and give up? He could have represented a flush there, perhaps, but he just figured that it wasn't worth it. He bet real big. I don't know if Golden could have called, but, you know, it's hard to bet real big when you don't have that much more chips than your opponent. Well, he did, but still, you don't want to just punt away 2/3 of your stack at a final table, especially not this big of a final table. I think's buy. We'll go all in with the ace. I got it with a ace with a slightly worse rag. And does make the call for a 195 million chip pot. Probably going to get chopped. It's going to get chopped. Blind versus blind. They just chop up the other antes. But that's 1.2 million antes, so they each gained 3 million from that hand. Which sounds a whole lot better than it really is. Somebody who doesn't know anything about tournament poker would be like, oh my god, you both gained 3 million, cash out right away. Now, if you could cash out, oh then, holy crap. Of course, if you could cash out, then we're talking about buying into for $22, and everybody starts with $200,000. I don't think there would be any poker that was played. Nobody would play poker if you buy in for $22 and get 200,000 chips. You just instantly retire. Free money. But that wouldn't be a very good way to keep your casino open. Oh, we got some hands here. Erman Trout with 5s under the gun. We saw him fold 6s under the gun. But he had a few more chips back then. He's got very little wiggle room now. Vinny with King, Queen. What is that raise? I demand an answer. High thanks buy much shorter with the King, Queen. Vinny could have called, but facing an under the gun raise and he's under the gun +1, that's a better fold, I would say. And Gambit Queen, I think, has to roll the dice with Ace Jack here. This should be a flip. Of course, she knows this is for pretty much her tournament life as well. Oh, she's going to fold it. She's going to fold the Ace Jack suited. Maybe she saw what Erman Trout's been folding. Except this is not 30 minutes into the final table. So even if she did have this window open, she wouldn't have had this window open because there's no action yet. Gambit Queen folds there. Erman Trout definitely going for it with the Ace King, and Vinny's already raised, so he may think that he's priced in here with the Ace 9. There's an argument against it, though. It's 73 million. That's still a pretty hefty chunk of his chips. About 1/6 of his stack to call this. And he does make a very disciplined fold. And Erman Trout with Two hands that you may well remember as the start of something great. Well, the start of something great was when he signed up for this tournament. He's already got something great. 7th place, $3,123 when he bought in for less than just the $23. I think's by ace 7 makes a in raise. Okay. Call from the 7s. Loves to donate. Ermin Trout goes back to folding playable hands. But small blind, Jack 10, I understand that. Might want his cards back. That's a pretty nice flop. I think's by probably learned her lesson last time she tried to min bet post flop. Loves to donate, just goes for the jugular, and high thanks by does leave us. Every time I've made that move on America's Cardroom, the other guy has an 8. I'd say don't do it, but no, everybody would fold if you raise a 7-2. $3x from Vinny. Golden, probably no interest. Raising small blind to big blind does work actually quite often. That's the one trope in poker that I can say is tried and true. Queens for loves to donate. He's going nowhere. I don't think he's going to get any takers, though. I think it's by thinking about it, but this will be the wrong time. Let's do donate's been hit by the deck pretty well, I must say. Queen 10 of clubs, doesn't even think about it, Gambit Queen. Yeah, you can tell it's gonna take a little while. The waters are kind of choppy with these 3 short stacks. Nothing much has changed in the last like 15 minutes of gameplay here. Golden raises with Ace Jack. High thanks by might have to go for this. I've been wrong before though, a lot. These guys have feelings and discipline beyond my understanding. This time though, I am correct. High thanks by does go for it and gets the flop she wanted. 10 for no, 10 wouldn't even be a chop. The ace would still play. Golden needed an ace or a 10 on the river and did not get it. High thanks by doubles up for the second time at this final table. And Golden's grip on, the comfort zone has loosened, if not outright failed him, because that right there is under 30 big blinds. Ermin Trout, 8s are good enough. 6s, no. And King Jack goes into the mop for Vinny, knowing that he couldn't lose more than a quarter of his chips. Well, unless somebody else wakes up the better hand, of course. Will I got it take a shot at this? I got it will take a shot. And so will the 7-4 offsuit of loves to donate. And that 7-4 is all over that flop, but it still trails Ermin Trout, who's got to push all in here, right? 3 undercards to his pocket 8, which almost never happens. He has to go for this. You can't just call. You definitely can't fold. You can't ask for anything better. This has to be an all-in. Raise all in. What are you doing? Just a call. And he hits the 4. Oh no. And Ermin Trout still with an overpair to the board somehow, but he's going to need an 8 or a 6, or he's going to get knocked out of here. Unless he folds. I've seen some interesting short stack play at some of these final tables, I'll tell you. With 10 big blinds, facing a bet of 2 big blinds, he makes a small raise. Who plays like that? Maybe Phil Hellmuth. Can't really argue with Phil Hellmuth. And he's got 4 seconds to call here. And he actually gets away from it somehow. Of course, Phil Hellmuth is not from Portugal. But I can easily picture him taking that long to fold and yelling at Loves to donate during the entire period of that. I think Phil Hellmuth is just about the only other player in the world who would play a short stack like that. Because I have seen him, actually. In fact, I just rewatched the final table that he was at the World Series of Poker just last night, so I can confirm that Phil Hellmuth might play it like that. But, like, dude. Ermin Trout. Now, to be fair to him, he's probably not used to having 52 million chips in front of him. So he's probably, like, convincing himself that his stack is way more playable than it really is. I'm an amateur, so in case anybody at this final table was actually watching me, I might be criticizing you, but please take it with a grain of salt. It's not like I know any better than you. It's not like I could make a final table of a 9,267 person field here. I have finished second out of 1446, but that was a free roll. This is not a free roll. And I was also in Omaha, and I'm better at Omaha than I am Hold'em. Freely admit that. My Hold'em game is not that strong. But it's where all the money is. Min raise from the King 3, but Loves to Donate correctly realizes that Gambit Queen, the way she's been playing, min raise still might get the job done, and it does. Gambit Queen getting the card she was waiting for, and Vinny may just pay her off. Though he did make a very disciplined fold with the Ace-9. And the Jack-10 suit is actually in much better shape against Ace-King than you might think. Actually, in better shape than the Ace-9 would have been. And it should fold around to Gambit Queen. Loves to Donate. Loves to Donate's going to call with the 8-6 suited. And just a call from the Ace-King when you're really short-stacked, and you know you're going to miss the flop more often than not. I cannot say I like that play. When you're that short, you have to rip it with Ace-King. And sure enough, the board ends up hitting Vinny. Well, it hits Ace-King as well. But Vinny now with the pair of jacks. Can't love it, though, because of the 3 clubs. It's not the top pair, but he might throw a little bit out there, like 24 million. 12 million, even less. Loves to Donate. It's going to fold, obviously. Gambit Queen should stay. Okay. For 12 million, she's not even going to think about it? Okay. The ace was good, the king was good, the 10 was good. There were 3 clubs out there, so maybe she just thought she was drawing dead. But this is why you go for it pre-flop when you're short. I got it. Ace-7 of clubs. The blinds just keep on increasing. I think I was wrong. It is 15 minutes. 32 million. That's a pretty big raise. But it does get called by the king-queen. Suited in the big blind, and that is a real good flop for Vinny. If I got it, goes much further with this, this would be what we call ICM suicide. He's not going to go much further with it, just 15 million. Vinny's obviously not folding. He might even be raising. 55 million. 45 million. Sometimes my intuition's not so bad. I got it with ace high. Just don't hurt yourself, dude. Do not hurt yourself. Oh, he's thinking about hurting himself. Okay, good. Boy, this is a long final table. I'm seeing that bar down there. I might not finish this before I go out with my mother. I just hope that the recording of it actually survives. Or maybe I could splice it together. I don't know. I might even actually just straight up stop it and release the video in 2 parts. Like, maybe when we get done to 5 players, I'll stop it and then do the rest of it later. All in from the ace-3. Ace-5 suited, doesn't even think about it. It is one of those rare instances where all in does make a difference over 3x. I think Golden might have called it the 3x. But Vinny willing to put a lot of his stack on the line there with just ace-3. Urban Trout is running really out of chips. An absolute godsend for Gambit Queen. Even though she's probably not going to pick up more than just the blinds and antes, I think at this point she'll take it. Yeah, she'll take it. Up to 102 million or 10.2 big blinds. I'd probably prefer thinking of it as 102 million. That sounds a lot nicer. But 10.2 big blinds is the more practical way to think about it. Min raise to 20 million for the King Queen. And high thanks by probably would love to play with him, but just doesn't have enough chips to make that kind of risk. Honestly, I could still get behind calling that anyway. Urban Trout has to do it with the ace-3. Like, what in the world are you waiting for? And Gambit Queen, of course, just happens to have queens. But Urban Trout still has a very much non-zero chance of pulling this one out. Golden's going to think about with Jack-10 suited, but yeah, I was not expecting Golden to play on the way he's been going. Queen-9, I have no idea why that's calling. Gambit Queen, though, will be very happy with the donation of 22.6 extra million. Because she is shoving here, loves to donate, has to fold now. It's Queen-7 offsuit. Thank you. Queens are still good. Just has to dodge an ace, and does so. Urban Trout hung on as long as he could, but is going to have to be satisfied with 7th place. And a very good run for Urban Trout. $3,123. Well, I guess if I'm going to come back to this after we eat, then I won't be covering the dream as it happens then. So I will get to see whether or not they do a deal or not. I am the worst when it comes to saying whether or not and then saying or not anyway. We all know what I would do with King 10 here. But high thanks by has shown much more discipline than me. And sure enough, it's a good time to fold it when Golden is sitting with jacks. Gambit Queen has a decision. And makes the right one, as it turns out. Vinny better not get feisty here. We saw him go all in last time. And he's going to do it again. Not going to work this time, though. Golden with the jacks has to dodge a king. 5 would chop it. But just like that, Golden right back up there at 405 million which again is only 40.5 big blinds, but that's second best at the table, and Golden is absolutely thrilled right now. He is no longer in the danger zone. Vinny, not much worse for the wear himself, and a raise here should get the job done. I'm definitely gonna have to do this in 2 parts. I didn't even do the Venom in 2 parts. Raise from under the gun with the A7 suited. The 3s hit the muck as well, respecting the under the gun raise, no doubt. Again, I'm speaking on behalf of all these players, and they probably think way differently than I do. But let's see that I think it's fair to say that's what the thought process was. Raise and take it. We're 34 million. At least Queen's going nowhere. We know that. Just the min raise. He likes the min raise. Loves to donate. Loves the 2.5x. And I got it. Sometimes it raises even more than that. So different raise styles. Golden, Jack Queen suited. We'll make a 2.2x raise. And that should make everybody run for cover because he has not been raising much. And 34 million for you, sir. Raise, obviously, from the ace-jack. Should be a call from 10-9. Unless, again, he feels like being feisty. But he will just call it. 10-9's got too much value post-flop to just jam, I think. Now, obviously, this particular flop, he has no value whatsoever. And I got it. Decides to decline the c-bet. There's another queen on the turn. Now, it's not like anybody could represent the queen, because anybody with a queen probably would have already bet. And they will both check it. Jack on the river would have been much more exciting of a turn card, but Vinny has 10 high. I got it with a pair of jacks now. Top kicker. And this should just be check, bet, fold. Yeah, 19 million. A lot of missed draws out there as well, so it's on. You couldn't even really represent that card whatsoever. If you raise, it's just gonna look like a missed draw. Kings for Golden. No takers immediately. Now Vinny's certainly not gonna go all in now with them having almost identical stacks. This is where 3x comes in, or just a limp. Golden's not gonna let that fly. Well, he might. So we want to trap with the kings and just hope that an ace doesn't show up. Now he's gonna go for it. Raise to 35 million. Vinny with queen 9 offsuit. Might have been planning on calling, but maybe not 3.5x. The thing about blind versus blind is it basically just turns into heads up mentality where any 2 cards goes. Except you would think that, but there's also the consideration of the other 4 people at the table who are just watching and seeing if they're gonna blast off and knock one another out. There's a lot of dynamics to poker that don't really jump out in the first place. You have to have experience to really feel them. King 7 suited was thinking about it, but thinks that she can find a better spot. With 10 big blinds, I think I agree with her. And she's the button on this hand. That was a tough one, though. King 8. Technically, it's a better spot. But, yeah, she'll fold it. I hope my voice is getting through. So I've been recording a couple of things, and not the microphone doesn't pick up my voice up every time. King 7 looking real nice now. Loves to donate, and hi, thanks, bye. Better be happy she folded. I got it. Picks up a gut shot. Loves to donate. Oh, the gut shot hits. Loves to donate has been slow playing this entire time, and I got it. Now with the hand to absolutely crush Loves to donate. I don't see how Loves to donate doesn't raise here. Yeah, he does raise. I got it, though, with the stone cold nuts. Gets exactly what he wanted out of this. Of course, can't do that without being insanely lucky. But it just all worked out perfectly for him, and here comes the all-in, no doubt. Might be thinking about a smaller rate. Does go for the all-in. Loves to donate with 2 pair. Wonders what in the world just happened here. I mean, this happens sometimes. You just slow play yourself into an absolute disaster. I mean, I would criticize Loves to donate, but let's be real here. He just got stupidly unlucky here. Running 7-9. And he's got a 7. Like, how? That is insanely unlikely. Loves to donate, really thinking about this, and this would be one heck of a lay. Now, what a fold! What a fold for Loves to donate, and he's still got 421 million behind. Just figured that I got it's never bluffing there, and he was correct. And the blinds go up yet again. I got it. Again with a fairly large raise. This time it's 2.5x. Loves to donate. Not going to mess with him this time. Gambit Queen. Again, might play that post-flop, but just not enough chips. Suited Queen for high thanks bye, but nope. Block for Vinny. I find it hard to believe that we're not even halfway through here because the volatility of the blinds being this big now should dictate a much shorter period of action here. Let's donate. We'll raise with the 4s. Golden. We'll call with the King Jack, no doubt. Basically a 4-way tie now. The King comes for Golden. The 4's bet. Good check by Golden. And could see a check raise, could just call. If Golden does check raise, then he faces the risk of, you know, a very similar stack coming back over the top. But he is going to go ahead and check raise confidently with the King. Just get it over with right now. That's a nice pot. I'll just take it right now. Thank you. And Golden now is our chip leader. Gambit Queen. With enough to move all in, I would imagine. Yes. Hi, thanks, bye. With not enough to call all in, I don't think. No. We still have 2 Lithuanians at this final table. Lithuania, really not all that big of a country. I think it is a little bit bigger and more popular than Estonia, but Estonia is where the reigning Venom champion hails from. But this would kind of fit, like the two Final tables with the most insane number of chips that I've ever covered, coming from relatively small countries. Vinny with a pair of aces, obviously better than the sixes where I got it. And Vinny, maybe learning from Loves to Donate, does not want to slow play. I can't fault slow playing, really. Like I said, Loves to Donate just got insanely unlucky there and made a tremendous fold. Nice walk. Queen Jack for Vinny. High thanks bye. Finally with a hand to go with. And Vinny's definitely going to be priced in when she goes all in. Only 42 million left. That's only 10% of his stack, and he's got Queen Jack. It is dominated, and we can see it's got a Jack, so very unlikely for him to catch up here. And why do people do this? Seriously, what is the purpose of raising almost all in? Well, we know that the Jack is unlikely. Could see a chop with a full house on the board, but does not happen. High thanks bye. The ace holds up for her, and she doubles up for the third time to 161 million. She still has not even a playable stack, but she's still hanging in there. Ace 4. Immediately they gave her a borderline hand to go in with again. That's what happens to me, too. Every time I double up, they just give me a borderline hand. King 7's been an interesting hand so far, but we don't even get to see it in action this time. I just noticed I got it with 2 zeros at the end of his chip total. Another borderline hand. This time she's going to min-raise with it, so she does have a playable stack. Ace 8 folds, 6s fold. Alright, high thanks bye is a contender after all. Ace King for Loves to Donate, that's obviously entering the pot. Now, high thanks bye with another borderline decision. 2 Brazil, 2 Lithuania, and 2 United States left among our final 6. Could just call. Could just call. I would. Okay, she does just call. Ooh. Gives her a gut shot. Needs a 10 to fill the straight. Loves to Donate with a pair of aces. She will check. Loves to Donate. Bets half pot. High thanks bye. Oh, man. Apparently they're thinking, okay, you've doubled up 3 times. Here comes hard mode. That's what the robots are saying. I think that's a very good fold. Loves to Donate. Happy to pick up any pot at this point. And has checked the box again to do a deal. Apparently she has passed hard mode because here comes aces versus jacks. A jack and an ace is going to go in the mug. Vinny in huge trouble here. High thanks bye. About to get another full double up, you would think. And this really would give her a playable stack. Fake tanking to make it look like she only has like ace 10 suited or something like that. Call with the jacks. Hearts do not help. He's got 1 out. 1 out! The final jack hits the river. High thanks bye. After all that effort, doubling up, ends up in our 6th place. The 1 outer takes her down. Vinny knocks out his fellow Brazilian in 6th place. And we're down to 5. I said that I'd stop at 5. So let's just watch this hand. Okay, I needed a little bit of time to react to that one outer, though. We saw the last jack in the deck go in the muck. So Vinny is even luckier than he realizes. Of course, you can't blame him for going in with jacks, obviously. Those hands play themselves. He did not play the hand badly, but he's also extremely lucky. The aces do not work. So that's it for part one of this final table. I will see you after I've had my lunch. That's a pretty exciting way to head to break.